Brisbane. And I'm glad we have you all here. Thank you for joining us. And apologies once again for the late start, but we're getting into it. Hi, Dr. Dapo. Hi, Oyinlola. Thank you for doing this with us. Our amazing guests are here. So yes, let's get started.
Okay.
So if you are in an environment that is conducive for you to turn on your camera, would appreciate you do that. But if your environment is not conducive, please, you can keep your camera off. So yes, before we get started, we need you to do a few things. If you're in Sydney, Melbourne, the time is 10 a.m. But here in Brisbane, the time is 9 a.m. Oyinlola, what is the time there in Canada?
It's past 6 p.m. here already.
Wow. That's great to know. So guys, I need you to mute your microphone. Make sure your audio is set and ready. And if I were you, I would like have a notepad and a pen in order to jot some things down. You would have, a great learning session today. So avoid every distraction. If your environment is not conducive, I would advise you get, a cool, calm place where you can easily learn. When your environment is, with various distraction, that is not necessary for your learning environment. So please, few hours we're spending here, just great time. Make sure your environment is conducive enough and, get value for your time. Time is precious, so why not just get value? So yes, my name is Tolopa Adeleke, good specialist here. Since skills, I have my colleagues Noah and Tayo here. So we are here to host you, and we hope that our amazing guests, your coaches for today, the professionals, you're going to learn, and they've been there, they've done that. So please make sure you sit calm, be ready to learn, and please drop your question. We have a great session for you today. So if you have questions, make sure you use your chat box for you to ask your questions. Then we direct your questions to the speakers and then you get your questions answered. But I would like us to do a quick exercise right now. So if you're here with me, you're going to make use of the chat box right now. So like I said, my name is Tolulope Adeleke, but I just need you to call me by my first name, Tolulope. And I am joining here from Brisbane. So I would like to know, I know your name is Ubaka, I know your name is Olafisoye, but I would like to know you better, just where you're joining us from. And you can, make it more interesting, one short sentence. I'm Tolulope joining here from Brisbane, and the weather is quite okay today, no rain. So just make it funny. Let me know a little bit about you and where you're joining us from. Can you do that in the chat box? And then this is an opportunity for you to network. If you have someone in an environment that you stay in, you can just say hi and let's be friends. It's as simple as that. Ubaka, joining from Sydney. How is the weather at Sydney this morning? Thank you for joining, Ubaka. Rachel from Sydney. Okay, so Ubaka and Rachel are in Sydney. That's great. All right. Reading. Okay, Dr. Dapo, joining from Brisbane. Very sunny here in Brisbane this morning. Yeah. So if you're here, why we are trying to know each other, not really sunny, Ubaka. I hear the weather at Sydney usually fluctuates. I think Sydney and Melbourne have the same weather condition, if I'm right. So I want you to do something. If you're here and you have friends who are actually interested in tech, I need you to do something, be your neighbor's keeper. Send the link you use in joining here, send the link to that your friend, even if it's your friend, your colleague, even your enemy. You're doing your enemy a favor. Please send the link to your friends. Let them know that, okay, you have an amazing session here and they need to join in. The good thing about it is that you're not just joining in here today. we have something special before the end of this session. Scholarship. So it might be you, it might be your neighbor, it might be your sister or your brother. So why not take advantage and, share this to everyone in your family who is actually interested in tech. Let it, let the blessing come around in the family. It might not be you, but it might be your sister, but it's within the family. So please, I need you to do me that favor. Share the link in which you join here. If you got an calendar invite, share the calendar invite to your friends. So thank you so much for doing this with us. Okay. Nobody's sharing where they're joining us from today. That's fine. I'm okay. At least I know Rachel and Ubaka are joining from Sydney, and I know one of our speaker, Oinola, is joining from Canada. I think I'm okay with that. Okay, moving on to the next slide. I'm having a little bit of, okay. So moving on to the next slide, I want, the team for today is securing a $130,000 business analyst role. A lot of people might think this is impossible, but it is far from impossible because this is definitely possible. We have testimonials of students, alumni, even people in our network that are getting this and even getting something higher than this. So how do I get or secure this business analyst role? That is everything we are going to demystify and talk about today. So like I said, get your notepad and your pen ready, and let's do this together. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about Think Skills, Mission, and Vision. Noah is going to demystify what we actually do here at Think Skills, what Think Skills is all about. It's going to come in here shortly and do that. And while we are here, my colleague Taya is also going to do that. And then you're going to get to meet our guest, and then the webinar gets started. So, hi Noah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tinulope. Thank you everybody for joining this call and choosing to spend your time here with us this morning. I hope that at the end of this session, you get value. And then yeah, so what are we about at Think Skills? So our mission is very simple at Think Skills. We want to help a lot of brown and Black immigrants, get to jobs that matter. And when I say job that matter, I'm speaking specifically in context of tech. I know it's almost like a trend now, but we've seen a problem, and problem here in Australia, and similar to what happens Canada, UK, US, and other developed countries, is that we have a lot of people who migrate, and for some reason they get stuck in the so-called survival jobs and pretty much move in circles. And the fun thing is that a lot of people actually have a thriving career back home before migration or before they moved, right? But then when they get into this new environment, some of them, get stuck and they're not able to like progress with their career. This can be banking, can be health sector, can be finance, can be sales, and then you find people doing, other odd jobs that are, well, can generate income, but does not give them lots of satisfaction. My own personal story is the fact that, I got a job, for example, in Australia, and we have a lot of staff, my organization, over 500 people working there. But I'm the only Black person working in the organization. And that's a problem because you miss that connection with, people of your kind. Like in Nigeria, where I was working, I could walk up to the desk and chat, with my colleague, like, yeah, because we understand each other. we share the same banter, we get what it means to share the same space. But then when you are like in another environment and you're the only person that looks the way you look, it's tough. You don't really have that connection. And looking around, you see a lot of people in the same situation. For example, in Australia here, um, according to Tech Council, we have nearly 1 million people working in tech in Australia. But out of that 937,000 professionals working in tech, less than 3% are actually African, right? The whole of Africa, I mean, that you can already see the gap, right? So we want to solve that problem. And it's not dissimilar to what's happening in the UK, in Canada, in the US, and other developing countries, as I've said. We want to help people, and we've been doing that, we're happy with our impact. The last, we've been around for over a year now, and it gives us so much pleasure when we're able to celebrate job offers. We've worked with a lot of people that have now been able to change their career for the better and secure high paying, high rewarding jobs, that gives them a lot of flexibility, satisfaction and doing a job that matter. Imagine you're working in Combank and you're able to contribute your skills to build solution, to make impact, to improve a process that affects millions of people around the country using Combank services. I mean, you will feel happy going to work because you're valued, you're a professional, you're respected, you get all the accolades, and it's so satisfying than doing a job where the only reason you're doing it is for survival. You can't continue to do that. Life is short. We need to do, we need to enjoy what we're doing, whether it be work or other things that we like to do. It needs to be at least enjoyable. So that's our mission. And to make sure that we get to a successful outcome, we have designed a program where we provide an end-to-end solution to help a lot of people who are passionate, who are going to be consistent, to really make that successful transition. And we say $130,000 dollars here. I know it's an headline grabber, but it's much more than that. It's flexibility. It's positioning yourself, in a career that you can innovate, you can grow, you can better your family and your close connection life. So yeah, our program is pretty much end to end. We provide all the support that you need in terms of upskilling, getting certification, helping with your resume, helping you with interview preps, really setting you up for success. And we understand here that it's not just about signing up to, that next program, another course, another student. It is our ability to work with you, understand that you have different priorities and you have different, there are different contexts, different issues, different drivers. Try to form relationship with you to understand your pain point, to motivate you on those days where you're not feeling up to, and really show you that yeah, this is possible, to just keep you on track. And it's okay if you don't get it the first time. We create an opportunity, almost like a lifetime relationship here, because to say, hey, even if you sign up for a cohort and you're not really confident, right? It's fine. You can join the next cohort free of charge. Like, we want to work with you until you're successful. As long as you don't give up, you would eventually, make that successful transition. And we are happy to work with you till whenever that happens, which is different. That's our differentiator. Like, I'm not claiming to be the best platform out there, right? But we provide the best support. Like we want to form relationship with you. We want to work with you every step through the journey. There will be times where you have personal issues that will get in the way of what you're doing, your learning and all of that. We help you as best as we can. We can't take away all your problems, but we help you and understand and show empathy. And there are some days you just need a bit of motivation. We show you offer letter from some of our alumni and hopefully that motivates you. So that I don't take all the time and we'll learn more about what we do. But our vision is simple, is to ensure that by 2028, we increase that percentage, especially in Australia, from 3% to 15%. And that is a big ask, but we believe that we can get there, and the future is bright. We're excited. So thank you so much again for joining. And I hope you have a productive time here. Back to you, Tony. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, for that. Really appreciate you. And we at Saint Skills are happy to say we love the work you do here. Thank you for leading us so far. So we are going to the next session, and I would like my colleague Tayo to, come on the mic. Tayo, are you there? So Tayo is going to tell us the reason why we are here, and then we get started in this session proper. Hi, Tayo.
Hi, hello. Hi everyone. Good morning, evening. Oyelola, I think Oyelola is everyone joining from a different place. But thank you so much to you all for joining this session this morning. We acknowledge that it's a lot that we've asked for, so thank you so much for making our time to spend your Saturday morning and your Friday evening as applicable with us. As Noah and Tolu said prior, to be honest, the tech industry is rife with a lot of hidden career paths. There's just a lot of opportunity there, and this is why, to cut it short, this is why we've decided to put together, a session like this, because you want a career that offers you that, stable employment, that offers you that growth, a career that offers you change at every point. So long there's one key thing there. So long you're skilled, you can be anything in the tech space, because it's like I said, the career path is enormous, and the reason why we've brought you here, hopefully you get inspired, is to help you to see these hidden opportunities, is to help you to realize the fact that in this space, you can be guaranteed stable employment, you can be guaranteed a high-paying job, you can be guaranteed career satisfaction, whatever it is, that connects to you best. This space, gives you that opportunity. And aside that, we've also realized that a lot of people are not privy to the information. So we are in a privileged space where we get to speak to different people at every point. And it's always the same question. Is this possible? Oh, I didn't realize this was possible. I didn't realize there was, this type of opportunity. And which is why we have decided, as much as possible, as much as we have the capacity, we will try and bring information to people, because information is power. If you don't know, you don't know. All right. So one of the reasons and one of the things I will be doing today is really answering some of your frequently asked questions. And we've got experts in the building as well. They will be answering a lot of your questions today, because we want you to see the opportunity that lies in the tech space, as well as we cannot overemphasize the fact that being in this sort of gathering gives you an opportunity to network. And thank you to Lou for putting that out there for people to let us know where they're chatting from or where they're joining this call from. Again, if you just wanted to talk a little bit about yourself in the comment box, and if you wanted to put your LinkedIn profile as well, this is a very massive opportunity for you to connect with other experts, in the field. It's the things that you see passively most times, they resonate because, you know, whilst you're not searching, they're there in your face, and you can really share this with other people. So thank you. As you do so, please, if you can pop in your LinkedIn profile, or, you know, just a little bit about yourself, what you do, what you currently do, and you can see if you can connect to one or two people, as well as also learning about what Sync Skills brings to the table. Because to be honest, there's lots of things, there's lots of information out there. We want to bring you a, you know, put together a concise information, something that actually, like a roadmap on how you can go about this. If we say there are hidden opportunities, how do I tap into those opportunities? If we say there are endless things that I can do in this space, how do I get there? This is what Sync Skills is doing, you know, in the form of training. So we bring you on board and, you know, give you skill, pretty much give you the skills that you need, sync in with your current skills, and, you know, train you whatever it is you want to explore in this space, be it a business analyst, you know, scrum master, or product owner. We will be able to empower you, you know, on this journey through 10 weeks intensive training, where you get to begin to get into, you know, the nitty-gritty of what it really takes to, you know, excel in this career path. We genuinely hope that, you know, this will be a very collaborative session. As we go along, we're going to be making a little bit of requests, you know, please, please collaborate, please join in, please feel free to ask us questions. But the core of everything that we do is to really solve the underrepresentation of, you know, immigrants, Blacks and Brown, like Noah said, in the tech space. I, for one as well, in my workspace, I am the only Black person, and it's so noticeable. And I work in a very big organization. There's more than 2,000 people in this space, and just being the only Black person there, it's something that I know that it's not because we're not skilled. Oftentimes, it's not solely because we're not skilled. Oftentimes, there's other factors, i.e., information, i.e., some people don't know. We do have some people on this call today that studied, you know, business information system, for example, or, you know, IT, but they're still struggling to get into the field. They don't feel empowered yet, because what they've been taught in the classroom is very theoretical, and they don't know how to connect it to the real world. And for everyone who is familiar with the Australia industry, you need to prove that you can do the job in form of experience, right? If you're not able to prove that, your certification or your degree is one thing. You need to be able to display that you can actually do the job, which is what we then do to empower you, to give you those cues to think whatever it is that you have. And the beauty of this is it's not limited to, you know, people who've got a background in IT, for example. Anyone can tap into this. I, for one, I studied professional accounting, so I absolutely have no background in tech, but I've been able to move ahead and, you know, move into this career space. And I'm, you know, telling you today that it is possible. You can do it with the right people, with the right mentors, you know, with the right mindset. Nothing can stop you. So thank you all so much for, you know, riding on this journey with us. I really hope that you can find this inspiring. I'm so thrilled to have you, you know, with us this afternoon. A very special thanks to our guest, Dr. Dapo and Oyinlola. Thank you so much for, you know, accepting to, you know, share your insights, to share your experience with, you know, all the people on this call today. Thank you so much. Back to you, Tolu.
All right, thank you, Tayo, thank you. And I'm glad that you've heard from Tayo, you've heard from Noah. So if you are here with us or you're just joining us, what we are saying is that you need to align yourself. What do I really want from myself? In the next 5 years, where do I want to be? So if you want to be in an area where you're at peace and you actually love what you're doing, I think you are at the right place. And I'm glad that you're going to hear from professionals who are in the field already, who have been there and have done that. So next slide, please. So I'm glad that you guys are here and you guys can listen and most importantly, ask that question, where do you think I need more help from, just drop your question in the chat box and then the question will be asked. Next slide, please.
Hello, did you want me to do something?
Next slide, please. I don't have control anymore, sorry.
Oh, really? Okay. You say you don't have control anymore?
Yes. For
Okay.
this.
Yeah, that's fine. So let me see. But apologies about that. I'm not sure what's happening, but okay, cool. I have to share my screen. But I think the next thing would be for our guests to introduce themselves. How do you want to run that, Tolu? We'll have ladies first. So Oyilola, if you just wanted to jump in and let's get to know you. I just wanted to introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. It's evening here in Canada, but with the different time zones, I think I'll just say good day to everybody. It's amazing to be here. My name is Onyaki Somi. I am a business analyst as well as a business consultant. I've been on this career path for over 8 years. I started out in the financial sector and I am still presently in the financial sector, and it's been amazing. And I think what you guys are doing here is really brilliant. It's information is power, and giving the information out would really help people to know how to strategize their year, how to strategize the future, the upcoming 5 to 10 years. They would know what exactly they're looking at and they would know how to equip themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Inola, for that. Dr. Dapo, if you would like to say a bit about yourself. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Please, can you hear me? All right. Thank you. My name is Dapo Lukomaya. I work as a project portfolio delivery analyst with the Queensland government. And I started off as a PhD researcher. I worked as a data analyst and been developing myself and working more now within the project management space. And essentially, I would say it has been an interesting opportunity to build a career in the corporate world, especially in a place where you seem to be like, we don't have much representation. Like, we seem to have less, just like Noah said, we have less immigrants in the corporate world. So it's a good challenge for me, and that's why I was excited about this opportunity that we can get to bring in more of ourselves into the tech space.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dapo, for that. Just like Inola and Dr. Dapo have said, all we just want, our mission here is to bring more people like us into the tech space. So Tayo, Noah, and everyone who is in the field can actually be in a meeting and see people like themselves. Like, let's see more people like me and you in the same meeting. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hi, Tayo, are you here with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen once again, and then we can get started into the main session.
Right. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining this session. We've decided that we're going to bring in a lot of your frequently asked questions first, and I guess we will be sharing, the views on some of these questions. So how this is going to run is a lot of my questions will be directed toward Dr. Dapo, Oyilola, and Noah. And I'm going to go ladies first for this one. So please only let me know when you're ready. I think that a lot of people would like to, because people really like to connect to, stories, and for some, people who have gone through this journey before, right? So I think it'd be great if we start from, just as much as you're happy to share, if you're able to share, some of your experiences or, success stories of maybe people around you and how they've successfully transitioned into roles such as, business analysis, Scrum Master, or even, non-code tech roles, really, in your life. You just wanted to share that with us as a starting point this morning.
Okay, yes, definitely. I would love to. So I think I would probably start with myself, and I would start saying that I actually started out in a bank as a customer success officer. And after studying economics, usually when you're trying to introduce yourself into the corporate world, the easiest role to get into is a customer success role. So I landed that, and I did that for about 2 years. However, I realized that I applied myself a lot. I applied myself a lot in terms of communication, problem solving, and in time, my manager was quick to nominate me to join the process innovation team. And on that role, I did a lot. I worked on projects non-formally. And when the opportunity came up, it just told me it thinks that I would be a right fit for a process analyst role. I didn't know what that meant. I went ahead to read up myself. I went on YouTube, I went on Google just to understand what that meant, because as at then I had absolutely no idea what a business analyst meant. But I did the research on my own, and I was able to interview, and I landed that role. That was actually how I started. And afterwards, I had to go for a formal education. And as at now, I am certified, and I have changed roles about 3 times since then. So I have other people around me here in Canada. I have people that left Nigeria as an accountant or left Nigeria as a cashier, but getting here, understanding the transferable skills, they've been able to learn roles as a business analyst, and they are doing fantastic. So I think the first step is knowing that whatever role you're interested in tech, there are skills that you already have that you can navigate your way with into a tech career. So I would say that is the highlight for everybody that has done a transitioning from around me. They've been able to identify their skills, and it's been quite seamless. Of course, getting formal education too, because there are underlying principles that you just might not be able to know without actually getting a formal education. So that is like the key point for everyone that has done a transitioning around me.
Thank you, and I think that's really beautiful. I couldn't help but notice the fact that you highlighted a few things that you did on that journey, right? Just talking about some of your skills that your then boss saw, and they felt like, okay, this person has got something. Let's offer this role. And just speaking to those skills and competencies that you've mentioned, I know you've highlighted problem solving skills, right? I just wanted you to share, a little bit more about how people can look inwards as to, some of the things that they currently do, where they're already using some of these skills and competencies, and how they can, transfer it over or think about those skills and competencies more deeply. So, okay, as a form of starting point for them, I already have these things that I'm currently doing, right? Can you share a little bit, can you highlight a little bit of some of those skills and competencies and how that is currently being used, whatever career it is you are doing right now, and how you can just transfer that over, into this space?
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much for this question. This question is honestly the key. I feel like it's one of the bases of your transitioning. Understanding this will give you all the confidence that you need to actually take that huge step and land the role that you desire. So first things first, I think we'll need to speak on some of the skills that are important, as a business analyst or as a Scrum Master. And I think one of the key skills will be communication skill and then problem solving skills. So I think if whatever role that we are on right now, honestly, let me just cite an example. Let's assume you're a customer success officer, or you're a bank teller. You're paying people on a cashier you're paying people in a bank. It requires a lot of communication because you have your customer facing, which means that you're doing a lot of positive, you're maintaining a lot of positive relationship. You're identifying issues, you're resolving complaints, you're identifying problems, and you're giving quick and rapid solution, you understand? So if you've been able to do this on whatever skill that whatever role you're on presently, then it will be easy for you to transition into a business analyst. While I was working in customer success, I realized that a lot of customers that approached me, I had a kind of fulfillment from resolving the problems that they had, which is something as simple as they are unable to access their account balances on their phones. And then I helped them to do that. And then, I take extra care to let them know that if you want to do this, this is how you do it. This is what you do. And then I still give feedback to my manager to say that these customers are having this type of issues, they're unable to check their account balances. How about we write a code, a short code on leaflets to share to them such that they can take it wherever they are, and then they can access these codes. Even if they forget the codes, they have a paper, they have a leaflet with them to, do this account balance check. That is, for me, that is understanding a gap, spotting inefficiencies. And if you've taken your time to check most of these business analyst roles, if you've taken your time to check, the job descriptions on them, you find things like identifying gaps, identifying inefficiencies. And what exactly does gap mean? What exactly does inefficiency mean? This is understanding that there is a malfunction, like this, it is not working the way it should work. So if you can do that, whatever work you work, even if you happen to be a store manager, and you can identify that there is something wrong here. When I come in, I'm supposed to be able to open my lock this way. However, it's not working that way. That is you identifying that there is an inefficiency. And these are the kind of skills that you can transfer to a role as a business analyst. If you're able to recommend solutions, you're able to say that, oh, rather than having my customers queuing here from morning till night, how about I send some of my staffs outside to attend to them, such that whoever has issues that can be resolved quickly, we can resolve it instead of waiting for them to, come into the branch. That's you recommending solutions. You understand? So sometimes you see the job description and it's like, I don't have this, I can't do this. This is, this is looking so ambiguous, but you need to understand that there are skills that you have that can be transferred to whatever role that you're interested in as a business analyst. Also, problem solving. You need to be able to, solve problems no matter what no matter role you're on presently. So whatever I think we should have even taken time to ask some people what roles they are on presently, so we can cite examples that will really address, let them know that they really have transferable skills that can actually be transferred to whatever career path that they are interested in. So if you've been able to problem solve, if you've been able to solve problems, you've been able to, communicate with your people. When you're saying communicating with stakeholders, for instance, your customers, they are stakeholders, your manager, whoever is your lead at work presently, if you're managing the relationship, you're taking your time to understand what they want, you're delivering, then you're already doing stakeholder management. And that is such a big part of business analysis, such a big part of Scrum and Agile as well. So if you've been able to do this efficiently on whatever role you're working on, it is very, very transferable for you. I hope I've been able to clarify that.
Yes, 100%. And thank you so much for highlighting some of the skills. And to be honest, if we bring it back home and we think about a lot of things that she's mentioned are things that we do. If I wanted to start from stakeholder management, for example, I know that it may sound a little bit like a technical word, but when you break it down, you understand that you already do some form of stakeholder management in your day-to-day. Your family members are your stakeholders, your friends, they're your stakeholders. And, in you maintaining that relationship is you, finding a way to effectively manage that relationship. Your extended family, your work colleagues, they're all your stakeholders. And we all do that at every point right now. And if she also highlighted about recommending solutions and identifying that, if most of us think about our journey, where we originally came from, for example, for those that are from Nigeria, wherever you're from, and you probably, live in another country right now, you've identified something that you wanted to change at that point. Be it student visa, be it, permanent residency, you've identified, okay, I want a different life for myself. For you, it could be that you want to give your children, dual citizenship, want them to have that opportunity. You've identified something there and you've taken steps, to bridge that gap. recommending solutions. I'm pretty sure we all do that at every step of the way, right? That's something that we would have done at some point in our lives. Communication skills. While I recognize that communication skills in itself is something that some people are extremely excellent at it, but we all still have it. There's always a room to, to improve that and get better. The more you practice, the better it becomes. Essentially, what we're trying to say is you already do so a lot of these competencies, or you already have a lot of these skills that you need, to excel in this job. So thank you so much, Oyinlola, for sharing that in details and for even going as far as using your own relatable experience. Like she said, if we just wanted to pop into the comment box, what we currently do for work, that would help us to give relatable, examples and, something that you can really, really connect to. So thank you for sharing that. So Dr. Dapo as well, I know that we all have like different stories and, our journey is different. I just wanted to hear, a little bit about your experience in this tech space. What would you say has been the highlight for you?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I'd like to tell a little story of myself.
Thank you.
I came to Australia in 2017 to study for a PhD, and I completed my PhD about 3.5 years after. Then I started thinking, what is going to be like the next step? Then I looked at it that fortunately for me, I was applying to several roles. I got some roles. I got my background was in agriculture, nutrition and food science. So I'm more from the agric and sciences mainstream.
Mm.
And so in essence, I was looking more around jobs in that space. But number one, I didn't have my bachelor's or master's here in Australia. Coming in to do a different study at a PhD level from what I did, because my background was in animal sciences, my PhD was in food science. So I thought that I did some interviews then, but because I didn't know how to use Microsoft Excel, I worked in TAFE, AI Education Institute. I was a tutor, so I applied for a research officer role because I didn't know how to use data visualization tools. They did a couple of interviews for me, and all I knew there was SPSS and Excel. I didn't get the job. Because I'm coming from a poultry background, I got a role in somewhere in Kapalaba here. I got shortlisted for the interview. I went for the first stage, second stage, but they kept on asking me the same question. That interview was the first time I heard about pivot table. I'm talking about 2020. Someone that was almost on the verge of finishing his PhD. I never used pivot table. That was why I didn't get that job. So those two jobs that I came close to were the things that really pushed me to start thinking that, oh, I thought I knew how to use Excel. I thought I knew how to use data analysis tools. So I started training. And then my postdoc I did a postdoc also for about 1 year, but I was not really getting that satisfaction. During that postdoc, I was leading students. I was training students. I was doing procurement. I was buying consumables for the lab. I was in charge of the chemistry lab. I was writing SOPs and work instructions for how to use those equipment. I love writing. So it was something that came in easy for me. I have a little bit of tech, encouraging people. Like if I know there's something, I'm a very big shy person, but this kind of job, you have to come out of your shell and meet people, especially when it comes to stakeholder engagement.
Mm.
You cannot work in the tech space if you can't work on that. If you can talk, you will get along well with people. So I started working on those skills. But one of the things that got me to a crossroad was in 2022, my wife was expecting our third child, and it was like I was practically going to be jobless. I was tired of doing disability job because I felt it's not really what I wanted. So I started learning. Then lo and behold, after about 1 or 2 months, I saw some contract jobs online. I applied for it, only for me to get on the job. Although it was one of the Queensland government rules, it was more around them. They were doing more around the GIS, Geographical Information System, for fire ants management across Queensland. But they kicked me out of the job after 6 weeks because they felt it was an admin role, like I was struggling. I knew that was not what I wanted. So I kept on reading and studying because I started off as a data analyst. Then I got interestingly, while I was at that job, I had been interviewing also. I was getting so many calls for business analysts, but some of them would tell me, okay, we'll shortlist for interview. We like what you've said, but I never got anything. But someone just took a chance on me that there's a data analyst role for 1 month, and that was it. So I took the role. It was interesting that the very same day that the organization terminated my 1 year, it was supposed to be a 1 year contract, but it terminated after 6 weeks, was the same day I got notified that I was successful for the data analyst role, which I was on and off. So it was like I was in job, out of job, in job, out of job. So I was home for a while. Then I started that data analyst role for 6 weeks. They said they will put me on that team. Nothing came up again. Then going to December, I told myself, well, see, maybe I should just go and continue my disability while I was still looking for opportunity. But I've started reading also about business analysis then. So I was reading, joining programs in Canada. I enrolled at Utiva in Nigeria. I enrolled with a program in Canada. I enrolled a couple of schools. I was reading. In fact, sometimes my wife would look at me like, what's wrong with this guy? You're a PhD. You are reading like as if you just want to start enrolling in you. I would sometimes when night, when everybody's sleeping, I'll be reading 3 a.m. I'm up. Sunday morning, I'm still studying. But got so good. January of last year, I just did a couple of interviews. So many of them was not coming in. Then I got a data analyst role within a project management office. And that was it. But I started working, Power BI, Excel, and a couple of other things. But deep down, I knew this is not really what I was looking for because I felt I am not getting the kind of organizational experience I was looking for. So as I was still on the job, they gave me, being government job, they gave me a settled atmosphere to learn. And I was using the opportunity I walk up to people, oh, please, can you tell me what you are doing? I go to meet the assurance team. I go and meet the capability team. I go and meet different stakeholders. Even there was the organizational capability team. They were like, eventually I started to tell them I have a PhD. They were like, wow, come and tell us how you did. So they were like asking questions. So they would come and meet me. Can you show us how to do this? You are very technical. I was like, okay. So I did a little bit of here and there. Then I started applying and doing other interviews. Then I came across my current role. So when I read the job description, I looked at it. I said, okay, I think I have what it takes to do this job. So I just finished early at work that day, went to do the interview, and I got it. I now realized that then I was already learning more around business analysis. Because what I tell people is, no field you are working, if you don't know business analysis, you cannot stay long in that job. As a data analyst, you need to know how to, because you are working in the business. So for me, I now started seeing how business analysis was essential for me to really build a career. And so that now took me into, eventually my current role, I still work within the PMO. But because I was already having more experience around business analysis, when I came in, and my executive manager was telling me, okay, we have a lot of uplift you are doing. So I was now doing a lot of current state analysis. And why this thing came in natural for me was because every one of us can relate. At our undergrad, we all went through projects. So we look at it like our thesis or what we call proposal, like there's an executive summary, there's a background. The literature review we do is what we call current state analysis. We're able to identify the gaps, what are the knowledge that needs to be built. Then we look at it and, okay, what is the justification? That's the business case for any project. Then we begin to say, okay, what are the methodologies, the results, then the recommendation and future work. So for me, I was able to place my PhD experience, my research experience with what happens in the business. So I can easily relate it. So for me, it came in natural. So I took it upon myself. So I walk up to people, ask them questions. I don't wait for me to be told, because one other good thing business analysis taught me is you must be able to take initiative. You must not be the kind of person that will just sit and be told, okay, move this. You move it, you won't give feedback. So you have to be able to take the bold step and ask questions, and also be a fast learner so that can learn from mistakes and take notes, observation. When I got to a new environment, one of the key things is I quickly looked around how things are done here. Every organization has different work culture. So for me, I started picking up those stuff here and there. And eventually, towards the end of last year, I came across Noah. and Tayo and Tosin. So I also started speaking with them and I took part in the class. So for me, I would like to end by saying, even as someone that works in disability, there were so many things I learned from that job. Because oftentimes people look at it, okay, just go pick the money. But I learned how to do a lot of stakeholder engagement. Like when you are representing a client, you must know their needs so that you know how to represent them before the professionals. When the SDM, the managers are asking questions around the needs, okay, how did you support this person? It is what you understand that you can explain. So I was able to understand a lot of admin, a lot of communication, a lot of documentation. So that has been my journey so far. And I can say business analysis opens doors to so many roles. Even I don't work as a core business analyst. I work as a reporting analyst. And I can tell you, it breaks out into so many opportunities. And there was that my emails, I called getting job offers. Like, okay, let me say job invite. LinkedIn, there was a time I had to take down my LinkedIn because every day I keep getting calls from random people. LinkedIn, at the point I said, I think I need to take down the link. Seek, I have to take it down because people keep sending you jobs because it's a massive space. So that's why I feel it's a very good one for anybody, regardless of your background. Like I did it because I'm coming from an agric, I'm a farmer, but today I work as a reporting analyst. So that has been my story so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that your journey is absolutely amazing as well. Coming from animal science, food science, and then, you're now a reporting analyst and you've done a lot. Now, I think the one thing that stood out for me was really when you mentioned the fact that you nearly gave up. Like you said, like you wanted to go back to, working in the health sector because that seemed, it's easy, right? It's the easy thing to do. Like, this is not working, let me just go back. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel that way today. There's a lot of people that may still feel that way, on this journey. I like to say that it's important to know that whilst this journey is rewardable, it requires a lot of tenacity from you. And that's what Dr. Dapo was trying to allude to. I just want to ask you before I move to Noah, can you, highlight a few things that helped you stay on track? Because the truth is, nothing good comes easy. You need to put in a lot of work, and you've highlighted that you put in a lot of work. You did a lot of learning, you try to upskill, connecting with sync skills, try to gain some more business analysis skills. So you've done a lot of upskilling at every point. You've done a lot of personal learning as well, which I wouldn't imagine that would have been like, just a easy peasy thing, right? So can you just tell us what exactly helped you to stay on track in that instance when you felt, I might as well just go back to the health sector, like this is not for me. What helped you stay on track?
Okay, well, I'll start by saying I have a family to feed, number one. So that puts me on my toes. But on a more serious note, I am this kind of person that when I hit a roadblock, I try to go back and review that, okay, what could I have done better? And, something you are not willing, something you can endure, you won't be able to change it. If you feel, okay, I can still manage my situation, because I got to a point, I felt like I needed to make this career switch. I knew that was the ultimate thing. So for me, I had that personal conviction. Yes, that this is what I need to do. Even if I had so many failed interviews, I will keep trying. And that's what I tell people. It is the first job that is difficult to get. Once you can get that first job, you will continually be in job. You will never be out of job. So, and one other key thing that helped me is connecting to mentors, people that are already working in that space. I have people, other than sync skills, I have people to I speak with all over that will tell me this is what their own experiences look like. I have a senior brother too in Melbourne who told me that he too started as a business analyst, that it took, his wife is a nurse, he had to take time, like 5 months off work, devoted it to reading. And it paid off today. He's a consultant too today. He's doing well for himself. So he told me stories, and I speak to a couple of friends around that I know they are also working in that space. So speaking to people that are like ahead of you, and also being able to make up your mind that I need to do this. So those are some of the things that helped me. So every other thing went after that.
Wow, wow, thank you. I mean, personal conviction is one big thing that cannot be, taken out of this journey. I, for one, can relate to taking time off work, to just eat my goals, which, it's something that has worked for me personally. So again, call to action for every one of us. For every single thing that we need to do, we need to put in the work. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice. So you need to highlight the sacrifices, that is required. So thank you so much, Mr. Dr. Dakon. So Oyelola, I know that I just wanted to also, come back to you as well on talking about the being able to stay on track when things become a little difficult. Because if we're being completely honest, the journey, like I said, is rewarding, but it is tough. Like there's a lot of things that there's a lot of work that you need to put into it. Can you just share with us some of the things that we need to keep in mind when when going becomes a little tough, or when we're feeling less motivated? Like Dr. Dako mentioned about failed interviews, for example. But before we get to that stage of interviewing, what are some of the things that we can do, whilst going through the learning and trying to do the transitioning? What are some of the things that you can share with us that would help us stay on track when it becomes a little difficult?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Tayo. Okay, so I would say that it seems as if Dr. Dako has covered it, but to be honest, I would like to add that you need to surround yourself with what you're looking to get into. So if, for instance, you are on LinkedIn, you need to follow people that are already in that career path that you desire. You need to surround yourself with the information that will help you. So if you see, for instance, somebody who is a business analyst, who is a scrum master or a agile practitioner posting, telling you their stories, even if you do not know them directly, but you can see their posts, it would keep your mind on what your desired goal is. You can also reach out to individuals. They do not really need to be your mentor. You could just tell one or two persons, I like your story. I can see that you started in, in accounting or in economics, but now you're a business analyst. I actually have the desire to, get into this career path. I really do not know how to do that. You will be shocked that some people are really able to help you. They could tell you their stories, tell you how they navigated their own paths, the challenges that they had, the problems that they faced, and you will find out that you are very inspired to, go on with that your desired dream, your dream. So I think first of all, we need to keep ourselves open-minded, sign up for webinars that will help you to stay on track. Even if you don't see yourself there yet, if you do not feel like you're that ready, just ensure that the information around you as positive as possible, that will take you to that path that you're desiring. If you desire to be a business analyst, to be honest, do not keep too much company of people that are maybe, I don't want to downsize any any job type or anything, but you need to surround yourself with the type of information that will keep you on track. So go for webinars, it could be podcasts that you listen to. You'll be surprised at how much information you've gotten, even when you're not intentionally learning, but you're listening. You'll be shocked at how you are already understanding the language of, tech people. Like my friend would say, there's a language we speak, you would find yourself picking up these languages. So then you can find a mentor, or it could be a direct mentor, it could be indirect. Just talk to people, ask people, and you might be shocked that someone might decide to just carry your matter on their head and start following up with you, be like, so what are you doing now? So ensure that you let people know what you're struggling with, and then you surround yourself with information that will actually help you.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I think there's a saying that says, the key to happiness is to surround yourself with people who actually make you feel safe and secure. And the similarity in what Dr. Dako has said and Oyinlola said is really, the people you surround yourself with is key. The truth is, that's all you're ever going to know, right? If the people you surround yourself with is all you're ever going to know, whether there's something happening at the other end of the line or behind or in front, you don't know, because you're only like in that step, which is which is also another key thing I would like to really highlight for us today. If we're wanting to go on this journey, we need to, ensure that we are surrounded with people that are speaking the same language, because they will motivate you, they will help you, right? when you, like Dr. Dapo said, aside, he's got, community of people as well that is, and at Think Skills, we have, a community as well, which will be sharing the link with you as part of, an opportunity for you to always be in that ecosystem where you're listening, where you're reading things, the things that, gonna inspire you, on this journey. So it's extremely, really important. If you would like to surround yourself with, people in tech, please feel free to join our community. We're gonna share the link in the comment box very shortly. But again, that cannot be overemphasized. If because at the end of the day, like Oyelola mentioned about LinkedIn, the things you read, they are the things that they stay in your subconscious, and you just never know when those information would be, useful for you. Sometimes it just takes a simple click, a simple information, and that's all you ever need. So that's extremely important. Thank you so much, Dr. Dapo and Oyelola, for sharing the importance of the people that we surround ourselves with on this journey, because they'll be able to hold us, they'll be able to, that is basically a shoulder to lean on. Please, when you share the link, yes, okay, the link has been shared. Please feel free to connect. Feel free to share it with your friends and family as well. Great. Let's talk about, because a lot of people say, and I know that this question is probably cliche already, but I think that we need to highlight it. So talking about formal education and talking about certification, right? And this is for you, Oyelola again. How important do you think certifications are for someone making this transition? Do you think, so for example, if I came to you today and said, look, I want to stack up a couple of certifications as the first step, would you say that would you recommend certification as the first step, on going on this journey? At what point do you think one should, get the certification, and how important is, having certifications while making this transition?
Okay. Well, I would say that, first of all, I appreciate that this question is divided into two, the formal education and then the certification. I would start by saying that the formal education is vital. You would be able to get some sort of support. There are some formal education, some workshops that would allow you to get case studies that you can work on, that you'll be able to learn more, that would give not just the theoretical part, that will allow you to actually go practical in your learnings. So I would say that for me, formal education is important. You would be able to understand more underlying principles, of business analysis, of Agile, of Scrum, and so on. But when it comes to certification, I really do not think it needs to be first on your mind. It is important. For instance, if you happen to be looking to get some type of, let's say, accomplishment at work, maybe you're looking to get a promotion, and having the certification can actually help you to get to the next stage. But if it is to land a job, it is not the first step, as far as I'm concerned. You could have it, it's not bad, but if you're thinking that is how you would land the job or land the role, I really do not think so. I think it's an added advantage, but it is not the main thing, because having the skill, or understanding your skills, getting education, getting educated, getting knowledge, understanding principles, going deeper in your understanding of business analysis, and then also having the access to, experiences or case study, depending on what you can access, that is most important. And that should be top on your mind. You understand? Getting the certification should come afterwards. There are people that I know that have been on this career path 10 years before actually considering to go ahead and get certified. So it is not first on your mind. And if we're to do a survey right now, we'll realize that those that actually started business analysis, not those that joined, let's say, maybe in the past 2 or 3 years, they actually started out without the certification. It was just along the line that they decided that, oh, okay, let me get certified. So while it is good, I really do not think it should be top on your mind. I think getting formal education, getting knowledge, getting the foundational knowledge should be top on your mind, and getting the experience as well.
Experience. Thank you so much. Dr. Dapo, do you have a view on that?
Oh, well, I would rightly agree with what you has just said. Well, from my own experience, it depends on the role you're applying for. For instance, if one is going for a Scrum Master role, I think getting a certification will enhance one's possibility of attracting interviews and getting the attention of recruiters. But for an analyst role, you don't really need, even to get a business analyst role in the beginning, you necessarily don't need to get a certification. Because again, it also depends on the market. For instance, the Australian market that we are, bulk of us are in now, it still allows us to join. And as we grow, then we can now begin to figure out, okay, maybe this is the certification. Like I was discussing with one of my big brothers, was telling me now that ITIL, for instance, ITIL is a certification. Last week, my manager took that course. My executive manager took that course. She was telling me some of the advantages of how that thing helps her as a manager. I know some people will feel like, okay, maybe I'll take CBAP, I'll take IT, I'll take this, but depending on what you want to do. So for the Australian market, if one is looking more in the Scrum, I think certification will help. But if it's as an analyst, like a business analyst, you may not really get to worry about certification in the beginning. Maybe as your career progresses, then you choose to get the certification.
Yeah, 100%. Because so what I'm hearing is certifications are amazing, they're great, but they shouldn't be the first thing on your mind. And I can agree with that as well, because in the past, we have spoken with a lot of people that the first thing is, oh, I've got 3 certifications. Okay, what else can you do? You know, that's all they've gone ahead to do, done a lot of, paid a lot of money to do all these certifications. However, they're still lacking the skill set. They're still lacking, you know, the skills that is required to actually perform excellently on that role. And yeah, thank you both for sharing that. So let's talk about, because previously we did mention that, you know, some of us work in some roles. I think that a couple of people dropped in the comment section where they currently work. But I just wanted us to, you know, deep dive into that a little bit as to how, you know, what we currently do and how can people effectively showcase, you know, their transferable skills from their previous roles, you know, when applying for positions as a business analyst or Scrum Master or product owner. Can you, you know, Dr. Dapo, can you share with us how you think people could effectively represent some of their transferable skills, you know, when applying for roles like that?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Well, I would say for someone like me coming from a research background, if one is looking at the public health sector, for instance, it is easy for you to speak those domain language, to understand who the stakeholders are, because you have a background. Like a nurse, like someone that works in the disability sector, like those that work in allied health, medical doctors, it is easy for you to understand the domain language spoken among clinicians. So like someone that applies for a BA role in that space can leverage on those skill sets already had. So for some of us that, let me say, bulk of us that have been using computer in a bit, like PowerPoint, Excel, Word. So these are some of the IT computer expertise that we can also showcase that, okay, I can use these key tools to solve this problem. And also, by virtue that for someone that has been dealing with different individuals that working in the health sector, for instance, I can tell them that, okay, I understand the unique problem faced in this area. I know the stakeholders, so I can relate. So it's essentially about the transferable skills that I've built over time. Even not though working as a nurse, working as a disability support worker, because it's still within the health sector, I will be able to use that. Like I attended an interview, was it not last year? This the National Injury Insurance Scheme, NISSQ, and there's also the National Disability Insurance Scheme. By virtue of working as a disability support worker, we can know who are the likely stakeholders that BAs in that space will be working with. So once they are talking about their technical jargons, one can easily relate that for someone that is coming from an engineering background or someone that is coming from finance. So those domain knowledge are the let me say the connections that one can use to get into those kind of roles.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oyinlola, do you have a view?
Yes, I was just gonna add that we need to understand that the way the world is going, lots of things are changing and it's affecting all the sectors, you understand. And for healthcare, let's say about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe there were not so many business analysts working in this sector. But as at now, it's one of the sector that is hiring the most for business analysts. And that is because that sector is changing. Like if we're to look at some 10 years ago, there was nothing like telemedicine, like where you can just call in your doctor to just tell your doctor, this is what is wrong. And then the doctor has maybe like technologies that tracks your progress, you understand? So things are changing everywhere and the health sector is not left out. So there are skills that you can transfer as a nurse to becoming a business analyst in pharmaceutical industries, in the healthcare, in hospitals. So I think it is important for you to understand how the organization or how the sector itself is progressing. Once you can do that, then you would know how to how to fix yourself in as a business analyst. So please do not, because you are in the health line, you think you cannot be a business analyst. They are actually really employing a lot presently. I think they are ranked like third or fourth in the sector that are what's the name, that are employing business analysts at the moment. So I think we need to understand that then you would know the skills that you can actually transfer to becoming a business analyst. So you do not really need to start from scratch. You have, you have skills that are ready for you to use as a business analyst.
Thank you so much. And I mean, that's absolutely true, because no matter it is, or no matter you're doing what you're doing, whatever it is you're doing right now, there's something there that you can transfer. And I think we've said that time and time, even on this call today. I just wanted us to, put a little bit of highlight as well on some of the challenges, or should I say misconceptions, that, potentially people could face, when making this switch. Because coming outrightly from a background that is completely different from this space, right? Of course, there'll be a few roadblocks, right? Can we share some of these challenges, based on your experience of the people around you, that people will typically face, and how can we overcome, some of these challenges when we experience them? Dr. Dapo, if you wanted to give this a go.
Okay. Well, some of the challenges, like for instance, the first time I worked with the public safety, like the Queensland Corrective Services, for instance, I don't know anything about specialist operations, community corrections, custodials, or I didn't know anything about those crimes. So what I did was I had to go and read more about those areas. So what I did was more of like identifying what is a niche. So I had to go and read more around what are the key things. I'm trying to get the right word, the key understanding of what that space looks like, so that when I'm meeting with stakeholders, I can speak their language, I can understand them. When they're talking about abuse, crimes, prisons, I can understand it. So the initial challenge could be how to fit in. But just like when you said, a business analyst in finance does the same thing as a business analyst in health, does the same thing as a business analyst in public safety. So it is the same BA experience and expertise. So, but once one is moving from a domain into another domain, one of the ways to tackle the challenge is to go and read or gain more understanding about what that domain really sits on.
Thank you. So really trying to circle back a little bit and understand what it is, that you're doing there, and upskill. Brilliant. I think that we've got a question. I may take that question. Okay, so Lola says, how can I manage various job descriptions in different domains when I see a role I want to apply for? For instance, business analyst from a particular application like ServiceNow Dynamics 365. Lola, if I understand your question correctly, are you wanting to ask Dr. Dafwando, Lola, what was your question there? Sorry, can you unmute if you can talk?
Okay.
Just for some context.
Yeah, so my concern is I'm at the stage of application, and today I'm seeing a role for a particular application or for a particular software. We need a BA for ServiceNow, and I'm trying to like read what does ServiceNow do. Okay, it's for this. I spent hours on that. Then the next minute I see another application. You need to know about Dynamic 365. And the next minute I'm seeing another one. You need to know about this. So on top of my head, I'm like, do I need to know all these applications before I can put my foot forward for to apply for the role of a BA? I cannot be good in all, and when I try to scan my resume, I find out I need to put in those keywords. So I'm thinking like they want skills in particular areas or domains, and is making it complex for me.
All right, thank you, Lola. So just to reiterate that back to you, your question really is around when you're applying for job, for example, and they're asking for specific skill sets in specific areas. They could say something like, SAP CRM or Dynamic 365, as you've mentioned. How would you go about, maneuvering that particular situation? So if any one of you can jump on this, Dr. Dapo, or let's say during the course of application, and I see a particular requirement that I don't know about, like ServiceNow, like she mentioned, what would be your advice, on how to go around that situation, especially trying to get called by the interviewer, and then when you get called, how do you display that you actually have the skill set? Okay.
I think I would like to go for this. So, Lola, I think what you're going through, which most of everybody that transitioned faced, is domain knowledge. So what it means is they're asking you, okay, do you have idea of how to implement a solution such as ServiceNow or Dynamics 365? What you need to understand, first of all, is that you as a business analyst, there is a role for you in the development team, you understand, and which is gathering requirements, stakeholder management, collaboration and all this. So when they're asking when you're asking if you have knowledge of things like this, they are not asking in-depth knowledge as to can you design this, can you develop this, can you actually code this from the back end. They want to know if you would be able to gather the requirements that you would need to actually set up a solution such as this. Would you be able to actually collaborate with the stakeholders, the cross-functional teams that will be working on this? So if you have a job application to come up with for something like this, I think the first thing that I would suggest you do is the keywords, which is like the ServiceNow, the Dynamics 365. Try and understand what it's about. You understand? What is this platform for? What is this solution that they want this business analyst to, to actually come up with? If you understand what the solutions are, then you understand what the skills of a business analyst is, then you know what they expect or what they want you to do in this kind of situation. So fine, I know you've actually never worked in building a ServiceNow for an organization, I agree. But if you understand what a ServiceNow is supposed to do in an organization, then you'll be able to speak to what they want you to come and do. So that means that they are expecting that you will be collaborating with the stakeholders, to understand the requirements that they need. So what is the requirements that Team A needs on ServiceNow? What exactly do they want to use ServiceNow for? You will be able to gather what they need, you understand, to actually make ServiceNow functional on their teams. So what it means is know your requirements or know your job description as a business analyst and know how you can do that in delivering a solution such as ServiceNow. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you would not actually be the one building it. They just need to. So if you can tailor your requirements to actually fit how you come in as a business analyst in a ServiceNow solution, that is like the solution to this question. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to explain to you. Is it clear, or do you still have questions? So what I'm saying is, first of all, you don't know what ServiceNow is. You go on Google, try and understand what ServiceNow is, because you actually need to understand what it is. You go on YouTube, try to understand what it is. Then you know what your skills are as a business analyst and what your job description is as a business analyst. Do you understand? Which is to gather requirements. So what are the requirements that you need to actually set up a ServiceNow for an organization? You need to be collaborating with stakeholders to know what they actually want this ServiceNow to do for them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ayla. I think Noah had his hand up as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Onye actually answered the question, but I think Lola is also looking at it from perspective of exhaustive application process. Like every application, of course, is different. They are looking for different things, right? They are looking, because every company will do different things. Even if they're in health sector, they might be using different technology, different tools. Now, your question also is like, at the point of application, do I need to master or learn all the applications there? The answer is yes or no. I say yes or no, because yes, it's good to have that at least good understanding of those niche product or tools or application. But at the point of application as well, so you can move faster, you can apply. The generalist skill as a BA, as Oyi was explaining, would apply across board, right? Although they might have different tools they use, but your core skill as a BA would apply to all the BA jobs. If you look at the roles and responsibility, what they expect you to do, it will still be largely things that you can do as a generalist BA. Now, there will be a few things like the tools, like the project context that will be different. So what can you then do? If you want to move fast, you apply to the job irrespective. Note down all those, unique tools, and technology that you need to get back to. When you're shortlisted, you know that, hey, in my preparation for this job, I will then go and learn about App Dynamics or learn about this particular product, right? So that I can demonstrate to the interviewer, like, I know this, I have experience, in doing this. I know what this is about, you understand? So you will not need to read all the technology because like it's exhausting, and it's not a problem for people transitioning alone. Like even if you're experienced, there's no BA that will say knows all the different tools in every organization, in everywhere in the world. So we all face the same issue when we're looking for a job. Also, for you to move faster, you know something, but it's always good that, if you're just in that process of transition, as you come across things that you're not familiar with, you learn it, as Oyi was saying, because it helps you build your knowledge, helps you build your perspective, knowledge, experience as well. But on an ongoing basis, if you need to apply to 50 jobs, you will not spend time to read every single application. And by the time you do that, I mean, you see that there are even the tools that you see a current team of CRM, Salesforce, this and that, and then you see that I have good experience. I've seen all these tools in another application. They now start to look the same way. So you will not have a problem. I hope that gave you a bit more context. Yeah.
Thank you, Noah.
want to
Thank
add
you,
something?
Ilana. Dr. Dapo, do you have a view? Do you want to add something?
Oh, well, I think Noah and Oye has summarized the essential key points. But what I would suggest is whenever we see a new role and we see that we tick all the boxes, which in reality we may not be able to tick all the boxes, apply. There are so many things that I learned on my own job that I never knew before. But because I was able to demonstrate that I have done something similar, I can do this. Like someone that has used R, for instance, can demonstrate that I can learn and use Python. I have used Excel before. I can learn how to use Power BI. So those are some of the ways you can go about it. But just like Noah said, don't go deep down into learning. If the role is not asking you to come and be a technical support or a technical BA, for instance, don't bother yourself going to the technical bits of it. Just know how to harness and showcase your BA skills to speak to the key things that is needed of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dapo. Does anyone have any questions at all that you'd like to ask? Please feel free to unmute your microphone. You can put it in the comment section. I hope that answered your question. And I know that it's a lot of work, so we're acknowledging that, but well done. It definitely does get better. So does anyone have any questions before I hand it over? Feel free to unmute your microphones. Just wanted to ask a quick question. Okay, great. I think that I will just move to my last question. Please feel free to put your question in the chat section, and we will pick that up later. So, as part of some of the information I would like to pass today, I just wanted to again say thank you to Dr. Dapo and Oyinola as well for their time today. But what would be my question is in two parts. For someone who has gone through a training, right? For example, we have some people on this call today that they've gone through our training. Oyinola, what advice do you have for them as they go through, like the interview stage, as they go through job applications, as they begin to get interviewed, especially around dealing with the unfortunately, which is inevitable, and also dealing with, well, you were really good, but yeah, we are deciding to go with another candidate. What would be your advice, on how to handle that based on your experience? Then once you're done, I will ask my second last question to Dr. Dapo.
I would say that this is inevitable. You will definitely get a lot of rejections. You would definitely get a lot of it. Those that did not get, I think they're like the lucky 1% that their very first job is actually the first job that they interviewed for is actually the one that landed. But to be honest, you need to understand that there is somewhere for you. So you need to keep applying. So I think you need to surround yourself or look out for people's success stories. A lot of people would share on LinkedIn how they applied for 100 jobs, 200 jobs. It is actually the reality. You would apply before you actually get that role that you're looking for. I would also say that we should put a lot of our effort on roles that we feel very competent for. So what do I mean? If, for instance, you happen to be somebody that has past experience in the health sector, for instance, it would be good if you look out for applications that are in that sector. Not only that, I'm just saying you could just prioritize. That way, it will be easier for you to, grasp and do well in some of these interviews. But you need to have it at the back of your mind that it might come with some rejections here and there, but there is still something for you. Because almost everybody that you're looking at that are, successful right now or that have one or two stories to share, if you ask them, they will tell you it was that same process for them. So you need to brace yourself and then look out for people's success stories.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely brilliant. And what I'm hearing there is, failure is part of the process. So whilst you may get, unfortunately today, at the end of the day, you only need a yes, 1 yes, and that's going to happen so long you don't stop, so long you keep going. So thank you so much, Oyi. Dr. Dapo, I think my other question to you would be, for someone who is still, at the other end of the door and they're trying to make their way in, what would you say is the role of training in all of this, and the role of actually getting skills? What factor does it play in you, being able to successfully transition to tech, in your opinion?
Okay. Please permit me to touch a little bit on the former question before I quickly jump on this.
100%.
Number one, we are all colored people. Many times we look down on ourselves. Imposter syndrome kicks in. We need to deal with that first. Tell yourself, I can do it.
I've got this.
I have what it takes to get what I'm looking for. Then other thing is, if you're working already, look inwards. If they have roles, you can move within. It's easier moving within an organization than for someone that is outside trying to come in. That's another strategy. Now, the role of training, I can tell you from my own experience, essentially working with those that are already in this BA space, they would save us the stress of reading everything. Like if you get online now, there's so much massive information that sometimes when you read everything, you will read so many things. I'll be like, where is even the key points that I need to focus on? So training helps us to narrow down and zoom in into the specific things we need to know. Training helps us to know what are the key things we will be using on the job. And training also helps us to see ourselves in that big picture of, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing. And I know how to speak the right words that would appeal to the person at the other side. Training will do that. For instance, like after completing a training with Sync Skills and we do internship or you speak one-on-one, because the trainers are coming from a place of practical knowledge, experience, and empathy. They've been through it. So they will know what are the high points and the low points. Even when we say, oh, sorry, you are not successful, they'll come and empathize with you that, sorry, don't worry, opportunities will come. So those are some of the things I can say. Training helps you to carefully navigate the journey from zero to hero, and then you share goodness at the end.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Brilliantly said. Thank you so much, Oyinlola. If we don't have any questions at the moment, please feel free.
Just want to contribute and also give a feedback. Thank you for putting up this wonderful section, and it is informative, I must confess. And I want to thank you, my beloved sister Tayo and Noah, for this program. I also want to comment, Dr. Dapo, how are you?
Very well, sir. I'm good.
I think so. What a brilliant presentation. So you'll be able to dissect and be able to whet our appetite on this subject matter. And of course, we shall metabolize it to make sure that we become a better person. And thank you, Onye, for that brilliant presentation. It is well informative. You know, the day you stop learning, you start dying. And where you are not well informed, you will be the fall. And what enhances your capacity is the amount of information at your disposal. So we are in the era of information. So we must keep learning and learning fast in order to meet up with these challenges world. Thank you. Wonderful presentation, I must say.
Thank you so much, Pastor Israel. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate your input. And thank you again to Dr. Dapo and Oyinlola and Tolu as well for putting this together. We have now come to the end of the Q&A session. So we'll just move right into still more, please stay with us. We'll just move right into the next. We've been very cognizant of your time as well. So thank you. Tolu, over to you.
Thank you, Taya. Thank you, Taya. Really appreciate Dr. Dapo and Oyin. I must say, I actually learned a lot. When we started the session, I said people should actually get a notepad and a pen. I did not know when I got my own notepad and pen, I started putting something down because yes, I grabbed one or two. So I really appreciate you for taking out your time and doing this with us. I can really say that just as Pastor said, it was really informative. And thank you for giving us like a backstory of where you came from and letting us know that, okay, this is something I can relate with. So thank you everyone for joining us. Dr. Dapo Oyin, we really appreciate you. So now I'm going to call on my colleague, Noah. So Noah is going to take us, give us a little bit of background about what Sync Skills is doing and what we have in store for everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Dapo. Thank you, Kaya and Tolu, for putting this together. Really appreciate you guys. So as I said earlier in the introduction, so you've heard the benefit of having a training that gives you clarity and helps you maximize your time, maximize your chances of success. So at Think Skills, we don't just train you, we're very intentional about what we do. So what do? We run a 3-month program and a guaranteed program. But it's a social contract of saying you put in the work and we would ensure that we give you, all the support that you need to be able to secure a job, after the 3-month training. So for some people, it's 1 week after. Some people actually got jobs, towards the end of the training, or during the training. Some people might take 1 month, 2 months. But as you've heard, right, you will go through the process. As long as you don't give up, you're definitely going to, achieve success. So what is our 3-month program? What does it look like? Can we pop in the slide? So the first 10 weeks, we will train you on the fundamental concept, like all the things that you need to know as a business analyst, the foundational knowledge that you need. And if you do a quick research, look through 10 job description, BA or similar roles, you will see recurring theme of responsibilities and roles that you need to be able to perform as a business analyst. And even better, our approach also sets you up for success, in being able to perform in similar roles like Scrum Master as well. So we teach you all the agile the frameworks such as Scrum, Kanban, for you to also be able to perform as a Scrum Master and also product owner, because they are interrelated role with business analysts. So a combination of setting you up for success means that at the end of a program, you're able to apply to thousands of jobs. And as you heard, like, yeah, some rejection will come. Some people were lucky actually, and they got the first job through first interview. But that is like a small majority. Like with everything that is good, you need to put the hard work. And the fact that you've gone for an interview and they've chosen somebody else does not mean that you're not good enough. That's what we always say. We always support you through that process as well. But anyway, back to the training. Once we train you on those concepts, then we will prep you for certification. You've heard today, certification is not the most critical part of this piece, right? But for somebody that has absolute no, that does not have any certification or academic qualification in tech, we just try to prep you for one of Scrum certification, which is a low-hanging certification for you to actually improve your profile, right? It gives you an advantage. And agile certifications are hot in the market today because a lot of companies are agile in nature. They are moving towards agility so they can satisfy their customers, and meet customer needs quickly. Time to market is important. We as consumers, we always want new updates. We want new things. So, companies must be agile or they die. So we encourage you to take a certification with us as part of our package. And then after certification, we will then go into helping you discover your transferable skills, working with you, building a tailored resume that is ATS compliant, making sure that you're not just firing blanks when you start the job application process. So we'll actually train you and walk you through how the best strategies to approach job application. So you can't just, for example, use a generic resume and apply to all the jobs. As we said, all jobs look for different things. They might have lots of similarities, but they look for different things at the end of the day. So you need to tailor your resume to speak to what that job is asking for. And that's how you optimize your chance of actually getting an interview. And talking about interviews, we are deliberate about this, right? So you've created a structure where you have opportunity to run through mock interviews, weekly mock interviews, and we prep you for interviews, so that especially as somebody that just transitioned from a different domain or field, you might be sounding very academic, your responses. So we want to fix that. We want to prep you and give you tips, strategies, to be able to, answer questions, demonstrating your experience. Every job, you need to answer the simple question, can you do the job? Like, what is your track record of doing the job? So all the questions they be asking you in the interview is tailored around checking if this person have the right skills and experience to be able to add value and do the job. So we prep you deliberately to optimize your chances, right? And we know, like you said, yes, even we know that statistically, it's not the most competent, it's not the most qualified or competent person that actually gets the job. You'll be sure company look for different things. So they look for soft skills, they look for experience, they look for um team fit, company fit, culture fit. So there are a lot of things that they look for in candidates. So it's not about how many years you've done the role. So somebody that transitioned today might fit perfectly, into a job, into what a company wants from a candidate. Only as echoed time and time again, if a company is trying to build an application for people to support people in the health sector or people with disability, that's your experience working as a youth worker or care or mental health, all of it will be vitally important. That track record that you have, that skill you already have, it can be the differentiator for you because you can apply empathy because you know what the needs are, what the pain points are for that market segment. So you'll be like the best fit. So it's not necessarily, and they might have people who have done business analysis for 10 years, but you that have a few years of experience or even more, because you're fitting to that domain based on your previous experience, you might just get an edge. So it's not always somebody that has 10 years or 5 years experience as a BA that gets the job. So long you can demonstrate that you can do the job, you have skills, you're optimized for success. And how do you deal with rejection? We say it is not rejection at SimStream. We say it's a learning opportunity for you. Like you go for an interview, you always learn one or two things. You learn, and as long as you continue to learn, you develop and become better. So always see an interview as a grateful opportunity for you to learn. First of all, give it your best, right? And you improve from there. At the end of the day, there are thousands of jobs. If you go and see today on LinkedIn, there are thousands of jobs, there are thousands of companies advertising every single day. And you just need 1 year to get a job. It's just one job you need. And then if you keep applying and keep the momentum, you actually get a job. It might take 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, whatever. So long you don't stop and you surround yourself with positive people, you get a job. It's simple. Yeah. So that is what we always say. And then in terms of helping you gain experience, which is one of the biggest things, we have our tech accelerator program, more like an internship where you work on real projects, with an Australian company. So you gain local experience, can do your reference check for you because you would have worked and, proven through the project you'll be working on that you can do the job. So we're happy to give you a reference when you get to that point where your potential recruiters are asking for a reference. So we do reference checks for you as well. And then on job support, we know, like, you're new to this field, you need mentors, echoed it throughout today, Dr. Dapo, we've talked about mentoring, mentorship, having that connection of people, like, provide job support to you. We don't put a timeline to it. Like, anytime you need help, you need advice, you have people that can advise you at skill skills. And even expanding away from skill skills, you can actually go on LinkedIn, follow people that are in that industry and try to network. And we always say that networking is important. Like Africans, we need to, especially when we're in this part of the world, there are a lot of bias. We need to network, we need to network a lot, so we get opportunities. Some people will get jobs from networking events. They just attended a webinar like this, or they attended meetups or conferences, and they just network with people who are decision makers, and they get the opportunity there. So go for event, go for tech event, learn from people, surround yourself with people in that industry, and you're optimizing yourself for success. There's always event around your area. You don't need to travel too much. Just look out for it. And it's saying that we have a community of our own. So if you want to surround yourself with people who are already doing the job, people who are on that journey, people who are thinking about it, you can join our WhatsApp community and just surround yourself. So the next thing, as I said, on job support is important. We help you settle on the job. Thankfully, all the people that have gotten jobs, we've been able to support them. Nobody has lost their job, and that's exciting for us. So we continue to do that. And we continue to build leaders. So people get job, and they're happy to give back to the community and help people that are coming, behind them. So that's why that community is very important. We need to form our own community, as Black people. As I said, the odds are against us already, so we need to push a bit extra so we can get those opportunities. Now, so what's the structure of learning? So it's online, instructor-led class. So we have our classes 2 times a week, Thursdays and Friday, 3 hours, 6 to 9 p.m. Sydney, Melbourne time. And it's very practical. We adopt a practical approach to learning. So that means that you work on project, you do the real work. What you'll be doing as a business analyst on the job, that's what we expose you to throughout the program. So you start to do the role of a business analyst. How interesting would that be for you? Like, you're already doing the job. So you just need to expand on your reading and develop, by the time you're done, you're able to apply, and start working basically. So yeah, and you have that community of people who are on the same journey that you can lean on and get support and work together and grow together and make friends as well. So I've also emphasized the need for, having a connections. If you're studying for something alone, sometimes, you'll be high, okay, you will go, you will read, sometimes you not feel like it, you do it. So it will take a lot more time. But if you have a network of people, friends, people who are on the same journey, motivating you, picking you up when you're low, and you picking them up as well, it makes a big difference. And that's one of the reasons, behind why a lot of people are successful. So our social media handles on the chat, I believe. So please follow us and engage, even if you're not enrolling now, you're just thinking about it. The fact that you're here, you're thinking about it, so just engage, do your own research as well. And I think all will be well. So I think that concludes it. Anybody that has any question, be happy to answer. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Noah, for that. Really appreciate. So our guest, Oyinlola, she will be leaving us now. We will jump into the scholarship session, like we promised.
Thank you.
Get that ready. So yes, Oyinlola, if you want to connect with us or any of the attendees, kindly drop your LinkedIn page. Some of us would like to follow you on your LinkedIn, if that is okay. And if it's okay, we can jump into your DM to ask 1 or 2 questions. So thank you, Oyinlola. Thank you, Dr. Dapo. Dr. Dapo, I would appreciate if you drop your LinkedIn profile also. Really appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Such an honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Invite.
much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, so we would go into the scholarship session. We are going to make use of Kahoot. Yes, so Tayo just dropped Kahoot link for everyone to join in. So let me just give you like a sheet to this, how Kahoot really works. Like if this is your first time of using Kahoot, it is not by I know the question or I know the answer. It is by how fast. So that is me giving you like heads up on how fast you need to answer those questions. So we are going into this right now. I'll stop sharing my screen because I want to log into Kahoot. Thank you, guys. Please follow Dr. Dapo and Oyinlola. And please, okay. Yes, Tayo, thank you. So yes, that is the game pin, and we need you guys to join in. 115434 is the game pin for players. So we are waiting for you guys. 115434. Oh Lola. Lola. Jimmy. So if I have two more people, maybe one, we'll get started. Jimmy and Lola. We're waiting for others. Kenny, okay, I think we can get started right now. We have 3 people already. Others, catch up with us, please. You can catch up with us. Okay. So yes, just like our topic says, securing. So which is not an essential tool for modern business analysts. If you should know some of these tools, but which is not essential. Just guess. Because these are some of the things you're going to meet. Okay. Interesting. Next slide, please. Kenny, well done, Kenny, well done. The difference is clear. Next question. So this is just to give you a heads up on what you're going to be learning. So which is more important? I think the guest mentioned this. Which is more important? Is it soft skill? Is it technical skill? Is it none? I don't think any of it is important. Abiodun, you're answering on the chat box. Please, you need to go on Kahoot, not the chat box, please. Okay. Jimmy has taken over from Kenny. Oh, Kenny, you can still catch up with Jimmy. All right, next question, please. Which is not a software that is mostly used by business analysts? Trello, GitHub, Monday.com, Draw.io. Just guess. Just guess. Okay, nobody got this right. No one got that right. No one. Okay. I'm sure our guests touched on this. So this is like a bonus. Bonus. Everyone got this right. Jimmy, okay. Next question. This is also a bonus question, guys. And this is our last question. I call it bonus. One person got, oh God. Kenny, Lola. And then number one, spotlight, Jimmy, congratulations, Jimmy, congratulations. But I don't know how Lola got in here, but then congratulations. And Kenny, congratulations to you. So Jimmy, congratulations once again. I would like you to drop on your chat box your full name and your email address, or you can just send an email directly to operations@synskills.com. Then we will get in touch with you. Congratulations. Jimmy is our winner for today. So if I were you, I think we can just unmute ourselves and stand up for the champion. You can just sing a song for Jimmy, or you can just clap. Just acknowledge Jimmy. It's not easy.
Well
Because
done, Jimmy.
the speed,
I watch
getting
Jimmy.
the questions correctly. So kudos, Jimmy. Well done. So send an email, or you can drop on the chat box your email address and your full name, or send an email to operations@synskills.com, and then we will get in touch with you. Other participants should get something now. At our next webinar, David, if you attend our next webinar, you definitely get something. If I can see you're a regular webinar attendee, and then eventually you sign up for our class, you will get more than something, David. Just sign up. Thank you, everyone. I think I'll pass the mic to Tayo, because we're going to round up here. I'm expecting Jimmy to drop his email, or you can just reach out to us. Tayo, drop the email address, operations@synskills.com.au. All right, thank you.
All right, she's dropped it. Thank you, Tolu, and congratulations, Jumoke. Like we said, we wanted to use this opportunity to give back as well, to the successful person. So congratulations, Jumoke. I'm guessing, yes, Jumoke. So we will definitely reach out to you to get to know you and see, and move forward from there. On behalf of everybody at Think Skills, we'd like to say a very big thank you to you for spending your Saturday morning with us. It's an absolute pleasure that you all taking time, spend your morning with us, and we hope that you are extremely motivated. I felt really motivated. Thank you to all of our speakers, Dr. Dapo and Oyinola. I know she's left, but we do appreciate your presence. Thank you, everyone, every single one of you, Tosin, Tolu, for putting this together. Thank you, Lola, Jumoke, John, Abiba, Ulubanjo, everyone on the call, Rachel, David, thank you so much for staying. If you've got any questions at any point, like we said, we really want to bring the awareness, and it may not be you, this may be for someone. So please join our community, follow us on Instagram at thinkskills_. Otherwise, if you wanted to reach out to us directly, you can, reach out to message us via DMs on Instagram. But this is it from all of us at Think Skills. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. By the way, we have a class going on as well. So if you wanted to be a part of that, there is an opportunity. We've only done the first week, so you haven't missed out, I promise. And if you know anyone, let them get on board. The tech is the future, and tech is forward. So thank you guys. No?
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you. If you want to sign up for our program, reach out to us and we'll get you started. Thank you so much. And have a great day, guys. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you, Tari. Thank you, Thank you, Tosi. Thank you. All right.